We are live on community, YouTube, and TikTok. So TikTok, I can see your guys' questions. If you have any, please post them. I'll answer them as I can. We're going to jump into it today. So today's Tuesday, the 17th. You can see we're already getting some pullback that we talked about on that bearish divergence yesterday. For those in the community on the trading floor, always make sure, especially towards the end of the day, you're watching out for the end of the market day kind of note of what I see, right? And so you can see lots of bearish divergence beginning to build is what I put right at the end of the market, and you can see, bam, bearish divergence is playing out. Oh, you're welcome, bloop to bloop. Bye. So the played out perfectly on that side of it, and then you can kind of see that we're continuing to bleed right in the pre-market. So first thing we want to do is I want to talk about a little bit yesterday, what we had going on. So let's go into Monday, right about here, right? So let's go into our 5-minute, and I'm going to break it down into our regular hours here. Let me get into our Monday. All right. So part of what we talked about yesterday that we were primarily watching is I deleted all my lines, but we had this line here and we had this line here, right? Which kind of gave us our larger pump on the 1 hour with the bull flag, right? So once we came into here, what we were talking about yesterday in the market open is our continued press north up this way. We came into our pressure up here, right. We entered actually right here on this confirmation. We held through here. We saw these bullish pushes up here, your doji plus your bullish push. You got your volume kicked up. The moment you got your close above the trend line, bam, up it goes. So we had a nice little breakout up there. So played out perfect. That was really the only trade that we took live today during the day. I mean, there was some nice, possible drops and pumps here that you could have caught, which we did actually catch in the live trader. As you guys seen, I showed earlier, this was the live trader, so we did get additional trades that were set in that perimeter. So we got out of both those. Worked out really good. Candy was excited. Ooh, that's a rush. Yep, she did well holding that yesterday. And so, as you come across them, you can constantly see our zone tractor had resistance up here. We just continued to hit that point, came back down. On the 5-minute, you can see if I go into extended hours, you can see we broke some key levels. We are in a death cross right now on the 5-minute from the 21 over coming down on the 200. So we're just getting that continued pressure. So what I want to watch for now is I want to see, do we begin to see some bullish divergence on different levels, right? 1, 2, 5, as it's starting to grow. Coming into the 15, right? You can see we're also now below the 200. There's some room to go down, down to that 432 range, and we're getting close to that potential. We're getting close to that potential death cross, right? If it continues down. So we had a nice little push north. We've kind of had that reclaim. If you zoom out, though, just be cautious. We could continue to range a little bit because you do have your support level here, which was prior resistance. Lots of activity within this this range, right? So it means a lot of people are willing to buy and sell. So there should be a little bit of a fight. So let's flip over to our 1 hour and take a look at that. So we did get our break below the 21 SMA. We had our rejection causing us to pull back. We are red on our divergence hunter, and so you can see we're kind of in an open hanging area here. The next level of support where I found right here was around 433.22. If that happens to break, it's not super duper strong. So if it happens to break in that zone, right, we're just going to come down for this 200 retest. For me to become like really bearish, thinking we're going back to 420, we got to flip this 200 on the 1 hour. So y'all know I like to follow that. So you can see here, we flipped it temporarily, lost some steam, and bam, there was news that flipped us back. And so at the end of the day, I think it was back here somewhere we talked about that we're just likely going to range in this range between that 430 and 437 or so. And we've kind of been in that zone. I mean, you can see we pumped up to it, and now we're pulling back from it. So That's played out pretty close to what we had talked about. But this 200 EMA is what I'm going to be heavily watching on that. For the time being, we are opening up fairly bearish, but we are getting definitely into that oversold area. Not quite on the 5 here. 15 minutes right at it, right? So, you know, we could, like I said, we could just range today. The big news is coming up on Thursday. So keep an eye on it. If you're part of the room, y'all can see this divergence that we were talking about, right? That was building up and then collapsed. So that played it well. But y'all have the key levels that we're marking in here, plus the strategy. If you're in the room, please make sure you're checking out that Market Insights for guidance today. So let's jump on to the dollar, and then I do see you said still doing Bajak lower subscription for crypto. I don't know what that means, but we did lower our subscription. So we for anybody curious, to get any of our technology, you just need this one, the starter. So if you want to come in and just trade with us, it's all free. So Discord, or the trading floor, and a lot of the data that we have is all free. Premium is more for people that want the extended stuff, one-on-ones, things like that. And so, yep, back down here. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to take a look at the DXY real quick. I will get to NVIDIA. Link in bio, give me one moment. I haven't looked at NVIDIA in some time. So you can see the DXY. This is kind of what we were following at this point. We did get that little head and shoulder, tried to recover. It fell down. Looks like it hit this same line that we've been following for support, getting a nice little pump north, which is likely what's pulling our stuff south. So I don't know that this dollar is going to hold, though. Tons of resistance in here. So I don't, you know, obviously you guys know if this dollar doesn't hold and we begin to go down, then the SPY is going to go up. So pretty easy correlation on that. So we'll monitor the DXY on that. One of the things I forgot I moved it on my chart, is the VIX. So you guys also know if the VIX goes up, mark goes down, vice versa. So we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder going on here, which we did break that neckline on the VIX. So we could definitely see some further downside. Yeah, this is going to be a key level right here. I'll watch today on the VIX. You have your prior resistance where we had a hard rejection. I want to see this flip as support, right? And then we'll have more room up, and that would give you that kind of green light to ride those puts on the way down. So that is what we will watch on the VIX. I mean, at the end of the day, the VIX, I mean, it's got tons of room to pull back down, back to its support levels at some point. So NVIDIA, I haven't looked at NVIDIA in a while, so let's see. This is our lines. Ooh, NVIDIA took a beating. 457 down to 443 just in this last hour. Hope you're not in a call, link in bio. Hope you're not in a call, man. If you're riding this put, you're living life, though. Let's take a look at you know, some signs for this put. You can see the rejection right here off the POC we had. Definitely had a gap fill, which that overextended that. Our divergence hunter flipped red back here, right here at this doji area. Our purple actually flipped back here. So everything started to flip bearish from the gap fill standpoint. Let's look at the harmonic. Look at the harmonic's been short the whole time. I mean, granted, we had this pump, right? But you can see it called the short right here, and it's still short. Hasn't called that long. So if you had that, that would have kept you safe if you're in that call. No gap fill. All right, let's take a look at the EMAs. I used the zone tracker and the Bollinger tracker for that. 1 hour, man, oh man, look at this. With this drop here, rejection off the 21, it lost it. Now it's actually losing the 200. So it is in that oversold territory with obvious some bearish or bullish divergence there. So we could get a market up and bounce from it, but I mean, we got, the obvious support level here. The thing I would be watching is this trend line here that we had. If it can close above this trend line, then you're going to get a nice bounce recovery. If it closes below this trend line, you might get a little bit of a push up retest, and if you see it starting to lose steam, you could re-enter that for that put for there. Is how I would play that. You can see the zone that it's at right now. If you come across, you can see just tons of up and down, up and down, up and down, right? What was once support was resistance. Lots of buy power within here, so it's a very, very interesting zone. But I hope that helps you out, man. Bitcoin, so everybody knows about the shenanigans going around this wick. It was funny. I actually wasn't trading Bitcoin, but I looked over at the chart. I was talking to CK, and he goes, "Man, did you see Bitcoin?" I looked at it. I was like, "Where in the world did that wick come from?" It looks like there was some shenanigans with, I think it was Cointelegram or one of those companies that did a massive buy. So they're talking about possible pump and dump. I don't know. Always so much drama, man, in crypto. That's why I love crypto. Yeah, exactly. I love crypto, but man, it's more corrupt than stocks, I think, or at least I mean just the movements. I mean the way. I mean look at this sucker. I mean it shot up like almost 3K 1 hour. I mean you know how many positions got freaking liquidated in this one candle. This talk about you go get some lunch and you come back and you're like, what happened to my account? Oh my goodness. I mean if you're in a Imagine if you're an actual long and you took your long and you're like sweet and you go and you don't set your take profit because you're a ding dong and you come back and you're like, oh cool, I'm in a little bit of profit. Wait, what happened here? Oh, I was in like probably 10 grand profit. But it was so fast. Oh man. But you look at it at the end of the day, guys. I mean, right where we wicked and we spun back from a technical standpoint, tons of resistance in here. Let me mute this harmonic, but you can see tons of resistance in here, so not surprising that rejected. Interesting enough, even with that fake news, right, you can see we're continuing to create those higher lows, and it did create us a higher high here. So one of the things I would watch closely is if you drag this line up just a little bit to touch all of these heads here plus this one, if it can hold support there, I mean that's a bullish sign. So I would need this to flip below 28.1 in order for me to believe it's going to pull back down. Possible double top here on the 1 hour. So that's almost the neckline too. You can almost kind of line it up more on the neckline. So if it can't break this neckline, then it's going to invalidate go up. But if we do get a break below this neckline, it's coming down. So, I mean, you had obvious bearish divergence there. It's funny because it's calling it, but I don't know. I mean, how do you really call it with that wick? I mean, with this being a lower high and that lower, I don't know. That just throws the whole TA of that off. So, yeah, craziness. I don't know. I'll stick to options, guys. I love options. It's far more profitable, a whole lot less stressful. You're fighting time, but as long as your TA is on point, right? Your time's you're good with the time. So, in our room, when we trade, we share our screens. We make the calls, right there. So, very transparent on it. If you guys want to come and check it out, for those in the room, that's really all I have today, guys. Unless anybody had anything else you wanted me to look at, but. We just keep it short and sweet now on these huddles. I try to keep it between 15 and 30 minutes for you guys. If you're looking for more in-depth stuff, please go visit the market insights right here. This is where we give our full detailed insights on the SPY. So the one thing I wanted to touch on again at the end here is if you're in the community and you don't know this, I wanted to mention it again. If you're not in the community and you're wanting to trade options, we've actually created a way to simplify it. So when you link this to your Tasty Trade account, you can actually create and close trades right from your dashboard. So this way you don't deal with a lot of the confusing stuff that Tasty Trade or any other brokerages have. I mean, you load in Thinkorswim or Tasty Trade or really any of them out there. you know, there's just so much information. It's a lot, right? And so we've simplified that into one nice little box with helpful instruction points. You choose your symbol that you want to play. So let's say like link in bio if you're still on here. If you wanted to play your NVIDIA, you just would choose your NVIDIA. You choose your volume, choose your direction, choose your strike price percentage. It will do the math and calculate that percentage. It's not going to move now because the market's not open, but it'll recalculate that percentage. You choose your days, so wherever you want your contract to expire, you hit create trade. It's that simple. So pretty awesome. We were using it yesterday. We released it on Friday, kind of like a soft release. Yesterday was the first full day that we had on it. So that's literally how I'm trading now from now on, because especially like you guys know, I trade mostly the SPY, but flipping between symbols and doing all the other stuff, I mean, it's just a lot of steps, right? Whereas I can just easily just come in here and say, oh, I want, I got my NVIDIA trade in. Let me go back to SPY. Everything resets to SPY, see strike price, all that resets, add my volume, create trade. You can do it that fast. So it's easier to not miss out on a potential opportunity. So, but that's all I got, guys. If you guys want to trade, come on into the room today. We will be trading. I'm going to open the room at 9:15. We typically don't take our first trade till about 9:45. And I know CK is going to be a little bit late. I think he's coming in about 10:15. So, but we'll analyze it. If we see an opportunity, we'll take it. So appreciate you guys' time. I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, and I will see you in the room.